Good morning. Today we are going to be looking at a technique in black box testing called as the decision table. So, what is a decision table? A decision table is a tool that is going to help us to figure out complex conditions when there are multiple rules. So, you have to satisfy rules, multiple rules, and then we have multiple combinations, and then these are going to have different outcomes or actions. So when you are having to deal with multiple rules and then the combinations result in different outcomes or actions, that is then a good indicator for us to be using decision tables. So for example, if we say, you know, the promotion for a person, okay, so that is an example. So I'm just going to quickly write down the example. So when we have promoting an individual, okay, if we think about that as a scenario, and I'm going to go into a more complicated scenario in a bit, but if you think about this simple scenario, so let us say somebody is teaching in a college, they are joining as an instructor, so their experience is less than 1 year. This is going to be experience, this is going to be title. Okay, so less than 1 year is instructor. So when their experience is, when they have reached 3 or more, they can go to assistant professor. Then when they reach 5 or more, they can be, associate professor. And then when their experience is 10 or more, they become professor. So this is a simple scenario. What if I add to it, that they have to have some kind of an education? Okay, they have to have 15 credit education. Here they have to have additional 30 credit. Here they have to have PhD. Okay, here we say it is masters. Okay, so when we do this, then there is a combination, right? So this becomes not just one condition, it becomes masters and this and, okay, so that becomes multiple rules, right? So what happens is we apply the rules, right? So we say in a decision table, we say the condition and the rule. So the conditions go here. So we say education, we say masters, okay, then we have say masters plus 15, masters plus 30, whatever, and then you can say which condition do we meet, and then we say a yes or no, and then based upon that we come up with whether somebody is qualified or not for promotion. So the outcome, the result will tell you the role that they are going to be promoted to, okay, professor or whatever it is. So you will have multiple rows like this that is going to say for each condition, and then you're going to say whether they met the condition or not. Let's simplify this and look at this condition. So education, experience. Okay, let us say if you have something very simple. Okay, this is the conditions, right? Okay, education and experience. Let us say in order for an instructor to be promoted, so we are looking at instructor to be promoted. So does he meet the required education of masters? Okay, we either say yes or we leave it blank. Okay, so then this person can have experience, at least less than or equal to 1. So they pass that. Let us say that happens, then your outcome is, so this will be your outcome or result. You are going to say promote, right? So if let's say the situation is he does not have a master's, for example. This person does not have a master's, but he has experience. Okay, only this is true, this is not true. Then there is another person that says they have masters but not enough experience. Then there could be a fourth person that neither has masters nor have experience, right? So these are the four situations that we can have. We call them as rule 1, rule 2, rule 3, rule 4. So here we are simplifying it, saying education is equal to masters and experience is less than or equal to 1. Okay, if these two conditions, so we are going to see, are these two met? In this first situation, both are met, which means we promote. In all other conditions, one of them is not met, which means don't promote, do not. Okay, so the result could be just a condition that just says like you're not promoted. There could be an error message. So all of these are important to know. So experience is less than or equal to 1. Education is master. So this is for an instructor for his situation. So sometimes it is not like that simple, right? It becomes really, really, really complicated. Not just two conditions. Even with these two conditions, you have like 4 situations, right? So for a decision table, each one of that, so you can test this criteria. This will become a test case, number 1. So you could have a test case for this. So or you could decide to do like one of this and then one of this, and whatever, however you want to do the test cases, then you can pick and decide. Also sometimes if there is an issue with your requirement or your coding, the decision table will help everyone come to like the same baseline to understand all the different complications that go on, especially when you have multiple situations. Okay, so that is an example of how you would do a decision table. So here, pay attention to this part. So you have a condition and then you have these rules. Each rule combination, right? This rule 1 will be education equal to masters and experience is less than or equal to 1. So it satisfies both conditions. Rule 4 is it does not satisfy any of the condition. So in our situation, in that case, the person will not be promoted unless the first two conditions are met. So only rule 1 is a positive, valid situation. 2, 3, and 4, if we were to test it, they should all fail. Okay, so let us look at an even more complicated example. Okay, I have the situation here. So let us look at this. This is for like an airline ticket. Infant passengers under 2 years old are offered a discount of 80% on domestic flights. Infant passengers under 2-year-old are offered a discount of 70% on international flights. So already I can tell, okay, infant passengers means age is a criteria. So the age of the person and whether they are traveling domestic or international. What is the outcome? The outcome is going to be discount. So this, just reading the first 2 lines, I can like figure out what are the conditions that are going to be there. Is it domestic or international? Do we have infant passengers? Then there is youth passengers. They are offered a discount of 10%. It doesn't matter if it is domestic or international. Frequent flyers have 15% discount. For international flights, passengers are offered a 15% discount if they are traveling off season. And then early reservation. See, this condition is early reservation. Passengers who make reservations 5 months before their journey. So there is early reservation. Okay. So what else do we have? Amount of discount is accumulated, so they gets added up. Then there is a maximum discount for infant, maximum for non-infant passengers. So there's a lot going on here. If you have to like write a test case is based upon these conditions, you have to first identify what are the key players here, right? So let's keep this here and take a look. So we have infant passengers, youth passengers, and then regular passengers. So I'm just gonna like scribble this: infant, youth, regular. Okay, so these are three categories. Then we have domestic, international, frequent flyers, and early booking. Then we have domestic, international, frequent flyers, and then we have early booking. So these are all going to be in a combination to decide what is going to be the final outcome, which is going to be the discount. So the final outcome is going to be the discount. So first we identify all the criteria that are unique, that combination that can give us an outcome. Then we decide what is the outcome. Okay, the outcome is going to be discount here. Okay, so now we can like put this all together in a nice little table. So let's do the table. So what we are going to do right now is like create a decision table that is going to have all the rules. So the conditions are going to be listed here. Each of these are going to become conditions, and then we are going to have outcomes. So let us look at the conditions. So we have infant, youth, regular passengers, domestic, international, frequent flyers, and then we have one more condition. Early booking. Okay, so these are going to be our conditions. So what we are going to do is we are going to make this into a table, and then it is going to be just a yes or no. Depending on the yes or no, we are going to decide what the discount is going to be. Okay, so what happens is the outcome is here. The outcome is going to be our discount. Okay, so infant. So we are going to be now looking at the rules. So let us just make this a little more clearer. So here we could have multiple conditions that are satisfied, right, for each and every column. So each column will translate into a test case in the future. So let's see how this works out. So let's go one by one. That's a rule. So I'm just like doing a few right now. Okay, so we are going to be doing rules here. Rule 1, rule 2, rule 3, rule 4, and so on. So let's look at the criteria. Infant passengers under 2 years old are offered a discount of 80% on domestic flights. So let us see. So if you are an infant and you are in a domestic flight, you get 80% discount. If you are an infant under 2 years, and you get a 70% discount on international flights. So if we would be an infant and then we go in international flights, we get 70%. Okay, so that's the second rule. Third rule is youth passengers are offered 10% for any destination. If you are a youth, you get 10%. So the other things really don't matter. You don't have to think about domestic, international, frequent flyer, early purchase, nothing. Okay, frequent flyers enjoy 15% discount. So if you are a frequent flyer, that's rule number 4, 15%. So let's add more columns here. For international flights, passengers are offered 15% if they travel during off season. Oh, we don't have off season here. We have to add that. So let us say this is off season. So off season. So if you are an international traveler, 15% discount. So this is for everyone else, right? So you are here regular, and then you're traveling off season, you get 15%. That is R5. R6 will be, there will be no discount for international flights except when they are an infant or when traveling during off season. So we saw that, we already applied that. Passengers who make reservations 5 months before their journey are offered a discount of 10%. So anybody, okay, they get 10% if they would make an early booking. So I got that rule, 6R6. R7 is going to be frequent flyers enjoy 20% by making advanced reservation. So you have to be a frequent flyer, regular, frequent flyer, early booking. You get 20%, I think. 20%. Maximum discount is 80% for infants. Maximum for non-infant is 20%. So because it is accumulated, like for example, if we were to do an early discount, if we want to do any other combination, it cannot exceed. That's what they are saying. So this is a decision table. So your test cases will directly be derived from each and every rule. Each and every rule, this will become test case 1, test case 2, test case 3, like that, test case 4, and so on and so forth. So this is a decision table. It can not only be used by testers, developers can use it, requirement specialists can use it, anybody in the team can use it, because it helps them think about, if there are any contradicting scenarios. For example, if the rule was written in such a way that, frequent flyers, where are they? They get 15%, right? And then we said frequent flyer early booking gets 20%, right? So what if they had another criteria that said frequent flyer and then you had international travel, they make it as 25% or something. You want to make sure that it's not conflicting. The rules should not be conflicting. There should be a clear case outcome for each and every scenario. There should not be any ambiguity, like what happens when I have an infant and I am doing an early booking and I am a frequent flyer and this is off season, what do I do? Right? So that is addressed by that criteria that said, you have to make sure that the maximum discount anyone can get as an infant is only 80%. You can't get 90% off, or you can travel free. So this kind of a decision table really helps you identify the different scenarios that you have to test. And then of course you can make a decision about how much of this do you want to test. You want to make sure that you are addressing most of it. And this is something you can use when you go for a code review or a design review, to make sure that the developer or the designer is making sure to address all these criteria. So this is the decision table. It has the columns as conditions. The leftmost column is conditions, The bottommost is going to be your outcome. So this is your outcome. And then each and every column is going to be a rule that is very unique, and it will have a specific outcome. Let us say that a combination is not possible. Okay, let us say that you can't have domestic and international on a ticket, right? That is an impossible combination. If you want a specific kind of message for that, you could actually give an error here. Okay, if you have some kind of a specific scenario that should not happen, you could also, instead of discount, that could just become an error message. So you could take an action, it could be an outcome, it could be a result, but it should be very unique and very clear, so there is no overlap in the rules. So this is what a decision table is all about, and I hope this is something that you would have in your toolbox to use. It's absolutely important to use one of these as a technique in your black box testing, especially because we do not know the implementation behind it. How this has been implemented. We want to make sure that the developer or the requirements analyst is not missing a specific scenario, and this would help us trap that scenario if something is missing. So this is how we do a decision table. Thank you.